Dark Templar is managing to kind of wander out here. He is going to hang out at 3 o'clock. This is going to give Anytime some crucial information. First of all, not seeing a Nexus here, he's going to be able to peek out. Ooh, cannon right there, so he's not going to try to go up and get any probe kills. But at the very least, he's going to be able to move in. He's going to see that Anytime's not going to go for, I'm sorry, that Reach isn't going for additional expansions. As a result, he's going to be able to play a little bit more aggressive. And now Reach, the Dark Templar of his own, going to start attacking that that pylon out. Let's see if that Observer swings back around, decides to take that Dark Templar out. There's at least a small victory for Reach. Or, yeah, small victory for Reach of at least 100 pylon. Well, 100 minerals, I should say, 100 pylon. And let's see, Anytime it looks like he's bringing that probe to that back left corner. He might be thinking about putting his mineral-only Nexus back there, and then, yeah, playing a little bit more defensively, letting his High Templar do the heavy work. He's already upgrading to weapons 1, putting down some gateways of his own, but significantly later than Reach, though, so he's not going to have that same troop count out in the mid-game, and I think he did save up just the amount of resources he was looking for. Let's see if he decides to plant that Nexus now, although I think there's something red in that bottom left-hand corner. I'm not quite sure. I think that's that Dark Templar wandering across the 6, so that might be delaying that expansion there. We're not seeing it on screen. We are seeing it a little bit on the mini-map. A couple Dragoons wandering out. Just a couple Dragoons wandering out to kind of engage out here. And there's a Dark Templar. Looks like Dark Templar on Dark Templar with an Observer at the 9 o'clock. Dark Templar just kind of camping out there waiting, yeah, to maybe take that Probes get out. Now Reach actually taking that Nexus, even though he put down the gateways a lot sooner before Anytime, and Anytime starting to move out. He might be able to take this Dark Templar out with this Observer that's going to swing around. He's still lost 2 pylons, which it's not that much of a cost, but he might get caught out of position with just fewer forces, so he needs to be somewhat careful here, and that is a huge army for Reach out in the middle, and for whatever reason Anytime really not keeping up with it, and I'm not sure where he's spending his minerals. Maybe this is just better macro from Reach. Ooh, Storm Drop. Oh, empty Storm Drop, though. He's only going to get about, looks like 2, maybe 3 probe kills, though, so, and I think he wanted a lot more out of that, so it looks like producing a shuttle instead of a lot else that he could have been producing, and a pylon there to block out the mineral only. Not going to make a difference, though, because Reach still going to go up a base, and Anytime doesn't look like he has much of an army to kind of counter this. I think he's already got weapons 1, which I don't think Reach has weapons 1 yet. We'll see in a moment once we get a troop selection. A lot of High Templar in there for Reach, so I don't think I feel like Anytime's kind of fallen behind in this match. It looks like he's going to go up, at least able to disrupt some of the production here, which will definitely help being behind a base. But Reach, if he can just hold on in this game, continue to play the way he's playing, he's going to end up just ahead, just on flat macro. And I have to say, this match is turning out rather unspectacularly, as I was hoped, because we really haven't had any engagement. Both guys playing a little bit passively. Anytime finally taking another base, putting down a couple cannons. But I feel like Reach is actually in a very strong position. He's lost 3 or 4 probes, but has that Nexus up a lot sooner, and he has more troops out than Anytime, so he's just macroing better for whatever reason. Probes now being transferred to that 9 o'clock, and let's see if Anytime can, if he can get another good Storm Drop out at that location, he might be in a good position. Looks like we see some Speed Zealots now out in the field. Now it comes down to a little bit of that big troop movement. Anytime starting to press up, and it looks like we are going to see an initial engagement here. Reach not quite in position. It's going to come down to a lot of these Psy Storms here. Beautiful Psy Storms, and Anytime's unit, it looks like they're getting a lot more Storm on them than the opposite, and it looks like some nice Storms there from Reach, getting a lot of the Dragoons. And for a moment here, it looks like Anytime might win this. Some Archons morphing in, some more Dragoons getting some Storm, but again, I think Reach's army is just a little bit larger here. It's hard to tell. It depends on reinforcements. Actually, I think Anytime is coming out with more troops at the end here, so it's reinforcements versus reinforcements at the middle of the map. Archon's morphing on both sides. One more Archon for Reach than on the opposite end, but it looks like he's getting picked off fairly rapidly. Reach still flooding units down, though, just to try to hold this middle ground and not end up losing anything past this. Another Storm ending mostly empty. Some Zealots working on those Dragoons on the left side, and it's just kind of a scattered attack force. Another High Templar taken out, but Reach looks like he's going to have to fall back because he's just losing units left and right. More Zealots running down, so he's going to try to continue with this attack. Another Archon morphing in, and this is, I think, the economic difference now kind of suiting up here. Because that third base was running much sooner, Anytime just couldn't keep up with the production there, so Reach just could continue to pump out the reinforcements where Anytime really couldn't afford to. Anytime does have another army out there, but Reach, just through pure determination, holding that. I think he still ended up losing a few more units, but still looks like some High Templars still wandering out there. Let's see if he can go in for another Storm Drop. In that exchange, I still feel like Reach comes out ahead, because as long as he doesn't lose any territory, as long as he continues to macro with those bases in the backfield, he will end up ahead of any time without basically without a complete faltering in his macro. Very Zealot heavy army, and here comes the drop at the 9 o'clock. Looks like it's going to get spotted. Actually, sorry, at the 10 o'clock position. Looks like it is going to get spotted, though. There's that observer, and let's see if these probes react well enough. It looks like there's a cannon along the way, and some Zealots there, but no Dragoons, so they can't really do anything. And they really aren't going to protect from this drop altogether, because that shuttle can go one direction or the other. It looks like the probe's now being flooded off, and this actually is going to help out anytime a lot, because even getting those probes off the line, so that's a little bit of a mistake on Reach's part, just getting a little bit too ambitious, going a little too Zealot heavy, just saying, okay, well, this is kind of the portion of the game where you want to be Zealot heavy, and I'm going to make sure I can exploit that. But without the Dragoons, not able to really do anything about that shuttle wandering around. As a result, losing some precious production time. And even the threat of that shuttle is going to be distracting, maybe disturb his macro. And anytime you're going to try to exploit this by taking that expansion at the bottom left while basically Reach is distracted. So, and he notices the upper right-hand corner, he still hasn't taken that base. So right now, I'd say actually between the two disruptions of economy, anytime might have had, depending on his macro, might have had an opportunity to at least catch up a little bit here economically. Let's see if he goes in. The observer's still there. The shuttle again moving out. Let's see if Reach bites on this one this time, and let's see if this actually... Okay, now the probe's actually coming back to repopulate. Dragoons there, that's going to have to... Oh, the shuttle's suiciding in! And it looks like he's going to be able to disrupt gas, get 2 probe kills there, and that really wasn't worth it. That was very, I would have to say that's very poor play by any time, actually running headlong into that, getting wiped out. I'm not sure if he saw the observer or not, but still, yeah, I don't feel like he's done enough to even this up, and Reach feeling a little bit strong here. He does have weapons 1 upgrade. Dark Templar and Dark Templar, and it looks like that Dark Templar that was in held position for any time is probably going to get, well, no, it's not going to get taken out, but it is going to have to back off. Reach now thinking about taking his mineral only. Anytime, looks like he's going to have the slight economic lead, but the question is how long will he be able to transition that into real production? Reach being very aggressive, taking the 9 o'clock position, which is a lot harder to defend, but pays off a lot more because you got that additional gas, which translates directly to High Templar at this stage of the game. Maybe even some Arbiters if they decide to kind of mix it up here. Looks like that 9 o'clock position has been spotted by an observer. So let's see if, okay, anytime he's going to switch around. He's going to take actually his own, that southern 9 o'clock position or the 830 position for himself and try to play it that way. And if, as long as he keeps that mineral only protected, he'll be okay. Big engagement again, neither player in that forward position, but it looks like anytime's troops a little bit more spread out. A couple Psy Storms going in, and it looks like they're mostly empty. I think the Psy Storm's a little bit better for Reach just because they are hitting that bridge, and anytime is going to have to back out. And he's probably going to end up losing that 830 position if Reach decides to bite down on it or even realizes it's there. Looks like he's going to be able to pick that observer off. Let's see if he has the presence of mind to go check out that 9 o'clock location. He has got across that breach point, which is those bridges, and he's got some good spread, but more Psy Storm.